Any guesses on who this gentleman is? Who is? Okay, Steve Ballmer. Everybody knows. Okay, so I think he has learned the hard way. So this was taken a couple of years ago, just when iPhone was initially released, at that time it was all about emails and businesses using smartphones. So things have long changed since then, and Steve has had to really learn it the very hard way. So today our discussion is really about the journey or the efforts of this gentleman and his team on setting right some of the things that some of the mistakes that they have made in last couple of years, and how they have tried to come back into this space and make a presence felt again. So we'll talk about Windows Phone 7, which was released a couple of years ago now, and the evolution of this operating system in the last couple of years. And also we'll take a sneak preview into the next upcoming release of this product, Windows 8. Okay, so again, just to continue with, let's just watch one more video. Okay, so this was one of the original launch advertisements for Windows Phone 7. So I thought we'll just share this to set the context and start the discussions. How many of you have seen or used a Windows Phone 7? Okay, so maybe about 30%. So hopefully this will be an interesting and a learning session. So on agenda today, so this is what we have. So we'll spend about 30 to 40 minutes overall. We'll start with a big overview of Windows Phone 7, its journey till date, its key features, why is it interesting to consumers, businesses, and a lot of developers like you here. We'll also look at what future looks for the next couple of releases for Windows Phone 7, and then we'll have a Q&A. Does this sound fine? Okay, so starting with the driver, so in the mid 2000, especially in the US market, Microsoft was the dominant mobile operating system, kind of getting it from its dominance in the PC world. They were also the leaders in the mobile operating system as well. Any guesses on what the operating system was then? 6.5. Yeah, so that was the one at that point. Yeah, that's the first one.
What's the name?
Okay, so and as you can see here, that was in 2006 especially, that was just when iPhone was released. Windows Mobile, I think at that point in time it was 6.1, and then the next one was 6.5. Microsoft had its lead there, along with RIM, and in the rest of the world you had Symbian as well. So and then came iPhone, and later Android came in, and Microsoft's share overall in the smartphone business started dropping drastically. So that is where the entire team at Microsoft had to sit back, take a different approach altogether, look at really where they were going wrong. And I think it was obvious if you look at the initial video that we saw from Steve Ballmer, right? So he was all about enterprises and emails at that point in time. And iPhone really changed that entire thing from enterprises to consumers who wanted to use this device in different ways. And it was no longer just emails, it was applications and ecosystem overall. So, and that was really one of the, and Microsoft lacked all of those, and that was one of the main reasons for the dip here. So the result of that entire brainstorming and all the rethink that went into was this new operating system, which is Windows Phone 7, which was launched in 2010. So this was unlike the earlier one, which was geared towards businesses. This was a complete consumer-oriented phone operating system, where the consumer was at the center. They thought through and came up with an entirely new user interface design that is called Metro now. So that's what its code name. Unlike your iOS or Android, which is all about apps, this is completely geared towards activity across the apps. So the focus is consumer and what he wants to do. The activity is the center. And it is across any of the apps that are there on the device. For those of you who are more technically inclined, it is based on what is called a hybrid kernel, which has best elements from two different Microsoft kernels, the Windows embedded CE 6.0, which formed the basis for Zune Player, and the Windows embedded Compact 7, which brought in the new touch and gesture capability. So drastic was this operating system that they decided not to make this upgradable from Windows Mobile 6.5. It had to be a clean cutover. So all the old devices would never get this new upgrade. This had to be a completely new device if people are interested in. This was powered by all the Windows Live services that Microsoft has been creating. So this was a learning that they took from Android, especially where in Android all the services are geared by Google services. Here it is all geared by, or powered by Windows Live services. It has a very deep and good integration with Xbox Live, which is one of the best gaming solutions and consoles now in the market. And it also took a lot of good things and from Zune as well, which at that point in time was gaining some traction, but then really iPhone beat it to death. And then the last thing was that Microsoft kind of keeping in mind the consumer in picture, and also ensuring that the performance of the device does not get impacted. Microsoft came up with very strict minimum system requirements to have Windows Phone 7 run on the device. So you could not run it on all devices. They had very strict guidelines on the devices on which this operating system can work in terms of minimum RAM requirements. It had to be 512 MB. It had to be an ARM processor. It need to have at least a minimum of 4 GB flash memory on the device needs to have that. And it needs to have a GPS at a minimum, an accelerator at a minimum. All of that, and it was only touch only, so it had to, the device need to have a capacitive screen as well. So Microsoft did come up with the bare minimum set of hardware specifications as well. Okay, let me take a pause here. Any questions, thoughts?
The activity focused thing, how does it help the consumer? What was kept in mind by doing that?
So let's take a simple example of really you wanting to search for your search for your friends. Okay, so typically what you would do is that you would go to your contacts and start looking at all your contacts that you have. So, but let's take a step forward where that, let's say this friend is not in your phone contact per se, but you have him on Facebook, Or let's say he's an acquaintance and you have him on LinkedIn. How do you bring them all together? So that is what the focus was. So I'll talk about it in a minute. There is something called a People's Hub in Windows Phone 7, which brings together contacts across all the different applications at one place, so that you can see everybody together. So your activity was that you want to find about somebody or you want to contact someone, and not really that you need to go to specific or you need to go to a specific application there. So that's where, so it's kind of focused around what do you want to do, so irrespective of the application. So everything is available at one place.